Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Sorry, I had to stretch there for a second. Oh, what's up? How's everybody feeling today? Oh, well, thank you for coming in, Jesse. Love your face, sweetheart. I'll talk to you later. I have my other live at 3, so we should be able to make it into that one for a little bit. Oh, my goodness. So, this is one of the first of the two lives today. I will be doing one later on around 3 o'clock. We're going to do some commentary on that one. This one is just a chit chat. Just if we come across anything, we can do it. Oh, good morning, Katie. How are you? All right, awesome. Thank you. Yep, we should have a good content this afternoon. I'm gonna do some commentary on good old PG and Daisy. I never usually do Daisy, but we're gonna do Daisy today. So I hope you all tune in at 3 o'clock to watch this one. This one should be fun. We always have a good time with good old PG's lives, so we're gonna have some more fun and double fun because we're gonna have Daisy. No, I am not gonna move, so don't ask. Do, 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 do. All right, so this is gonna be fun today. I can see it.
Give a big shout out to my friend Alyssa Dees. Thank you so much for presenting all the stories that you do. Make sure you guys check out Alyssa Dees at alyssadees.com. That's where I got this story from. A road rage incident. The individual that you guys see on my screen. Not going to believe this, man, but just the way that we lose our youth and the lives of our youth that have so much promise that could grow up and become something great. It's just very, very sad, and it's inexcusable, and it just has to be pushed. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. All right, and this story again from alyssadees.com to my friend. Thank you so much. A road rage shooting claimed the life of a 4-year-old boy and the 4-year-old boy's life in Lancaster, California, Friday night, according to reports. So authorities say that the little boy by the name of 4-year-old Gore Adam Yan. So I'm gonna say it like that, Adam Yan. His name is Gore, 4 years old, handsome little kid. Was seated in the backseat of his family's car as they drove in the area of Sierra Highway and East Avenue J in Lancaster around 7:30 p.m. on Friday on the way to pick up groceries. Another driver first cut them off. How it always starts. Then to chase the family through the city streets, according to the LA County Sheriff's Department. The driver eventually pulled up next to Adam Yan's vehicle and began shooting, striking the little boy, striking him in the upper torso, authorities said. His father and his mother immediately drove to a hospital where he died from his wounds. The family is totally devastated. They're confused and out of awareness and disbelief that this happened to their family. Investigators located the suspect's vehicle and arrested 29-year-old Byron Burkhart and 27-year-old Alexandria Gentile. Interesting name. Let me see if I can get their face up on the screen. This idiot with that fireball right there, 29 years old, and he looks very, very, very slow. Slower than molasses being poured into the snow. Whoever 27-year-old Alexis Gentile is, I don't know, but they've been arrested for murder. Lancaster mayor says Burkhart should not have been a free man. So check this out. This particular suspect was in custody a week ago for a gun-related felony, and they let him go because of a new bail law. LA County controversial new zero bail policy, which took effect in October, allows many of those arrested for non-violent crimes, including car theft, retail theft, and burglary, to be cited and released or booked and re-released instead of being held on bond. Firearm offenses are supposed to be reviewed by a magistrate under the new protocols. Supposed to be. But did they? If it's supposed to be, then it should have happened. It sounds like somebody just failed to do their job. Mayor Paris is calling on District Attorney George Gasson to keep criminals locked up to protect innocent victims like Gore. What we didn't expect, what did we expect? Did we really think our children weren't going to be victims of this policy? Because they are, said. Coronado said,
diamond painting is the perfect way to indulge in self-care. It's super simple. All you need to do is take the applicator and
that the Adam Yans recently moved from Glendale to Lancaster of a better life. Now they're enduring an unthinkable tragedy during what would otherwise be a festive time of year. Anybody who got information, call the Sheriff's Department, 323-890-5500. Those who want to be anonymous, call Crime Stoppers, 800-222-8477. So this baby boy died for absolutely no reason at all. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you ask me, I think that system is not a bad system. It's not a bad law. But if you have it to where if a gun is related, gun-related charges, they're supposed to be reviewed. If they didn't review that, then they dropped the ball. But you have to still follow policy. So if it requires a review, should have did the damn review.
A road rage shooting on Sierra Highway takes the life of a 4-year-old boy.
A man and woman now facing charges. One of them was in jail just a week ago. Our Jennifer McGraw is live in Lancaster with new details about this case. Hi, Jen.
Yeah, the shocking death of this 4-year-old has local leaders calling on the full prosecution of these suspects. And again, this man should have been in jail. Deputies are investigating a violent road rage shooting on Sierra Highway. They say a family of 3 was on their way to the grocery store when a driver cut them off, pulled up alongside the passenger door, and fired off 8 shots.
Striking Gore in the back of the seat. I'm talking to his parents.
The family rushed their 4-year-old boy to the hospital, but Gore Adamian didn't survive.
The family right now is totally devastated. They're confused, in and out of awareness, consciousness, in disbelief that this happened to their family.
Dr. Miguel S. Coronado is speaking on behalf of the family.
Right before Christmas. It's just devastating. I just could not imagine. I mean, how do you even celebrate Christmas? I couldn't even think. The Christmas trees and the...
Yeah, this tragedy has shaken this community, and indeed, I'm just outside of the Lancaster courthouse. That suspect facing a judge in court just a short while ago, facing some very serious charges. Family members of the victim inside of the courtroom as well. They were surrounded by law enforcement. Here's more. The suspect, Byron Burkhart, in court facing a judge who read the serious charges.
Appears to be 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, use of firearm.
1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder with the use of a firearm. The charges unfolding after Burkhart allegedly shot to death 4-year-old Gore Adamian in a road rage attack Friday night in Lancaster. Burkhart not entering a plea in court, his arraignment postponed until late January of next year. The child in the back seat of his parents' car when authorities say Burkhart allegedly chased down Gore's family and unleashed a barrage of gunfire on their vehicle. The shooting happening after the suspect allegedly cut off the family's car in the 44,000 block of Sierra Highway, mere blocks from the LA County Sheriff's Station in Lancaster. Just yesterday, we talked to a spokesperson for the victim's family.
Fight against this violence and killing, stop murdering.
Detectives say the tragedy unfolding around 7:30 Friday night as the victim's family was driving on Sierra Highway, encountering the suspect's vehicle in traffic. Investigators say Burkhart cut the family off in its vehicle and then followed them through several surface streets. Authorities say at some point the victim's family slowed down, and that's when Burkhart allegedly pulled alongside the family's vehicle and opened fire, striking the child, killing him. Detectives initially arresting Burkhart along with a 29-year-old woman, booking them on suspicion of murder. The 29-year-old woman not facing charges at this time. Burkhart has a long criminal rap sheet. We talked to Lancaster Mayor Rex Paris, and he had this to say.
Isn't going to be the last 4-year-old that's shot down. I mean, the reality is that people have to be held accountable when they commit the lower end crimes.
And again, Burkhart expected back in a Lancaster courtroom late next month to be arraigned. His bail more than $5 million. He's still in jail, folks.
Man accused in a road rage shooting that killed a child appears in court. Here's a look at him. His name is Byron Burkhart. He's arraigned on several charges, including murder and attempted murder. Authorities say Burkhart got angry with another driver Friday and opened fire at that man's car. This little boy, 4-year-old Gore Adamian, who was sitting in the back seat, he died.
My closing thoughts with this man having this long criminal history. you give people like this opportunities to get out and change their life and be better than what they've been showing. And I just think that when you have a thug lion, when you have an individual like this that has proven time and time again with their actions that they're not going to do any better, they're not going to advance, they're not going to learn, they're not going to grow, they're not going to do anything except continue to be a menace to society. You know, people like this should never see the light of day again, and they shouldn't be given another opportunity. But to chase the family down like you were chasing down some prey or something like that is flat out sickening. If they have the DP, the death penalty, he absolutely deserves it. And so I don't know what role that the woman that was in the car with him played, but we need to take a look at that. So if she was obstructing justice or anything like that, then she needs to pay for what happened to this baby boy, young Prince. Handsome man, and he deserves every opportunity to grow up and become something great. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do y'all have thoughts about the woman in the car? Do you know more than what's been told? People like him don't need another chance, another shot in life to do anything at all. Thank you.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. What is the purpose of road rage? Why would you pull up next to a car and shoot in the car? Did you not see the kid in there? Like, there was no purpose for it anyway. These people had just moved to this place, this town, so they didn't know anybody. They didn't do anything wrong. This is crazy. I have another one for y'all to watch too.
News web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Getting this crazy story coming out of Vegas. Vegas presents some wild stories. So, the 42-year-old gunman of a Nevada family murder-suicide on Monday sent concerning text messages to his brother the night before the murder, according to law enforcement sources. So they had prior warning. Marvin Patterson messaged his brother that he was getting evicted and his car was being repossessed. Brother, that sounds like a lot of people's story. That don't give you no right to go hurt, harm, or murder anybody.
Left his chicken and I don't know what the fuck.
I know people that are going through that. I might have been through that at a time and point in my life also.
For Grammy.
But you pull, like they say, what do you say? Pull yourself up by your straps. You get a job, you figure it out. It just takes time. Like, you don't do this. It can't end like this. Those text messages probably prompted Patterson's brother to visit the apartment Monday morning where he found the family shot, according to Metro Police. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police said Patterson killed his wife, 34-year-old Shanara Patterson, along with his 14-year-old stepdaughter, Keziah Cone, and 6-year-old daughter, Zamira Patterson, before shooting himself. He also shot his 11-year-old stepson, Derek, who remains in the hospital, which we are praying that he pulls through and survives. The coroner's office said the deceased victims were shot in the head and Patterson died by suicide. Metro Police responded to the murder-suicide around 10 a.m. after being called to the Laredo and Palacio Apartments near Durango and U.S. Highway 95. Excuse me. Patterson was on house arrest, awaiting trial in April next year on 9 charges related to sexual crimes against children. Do you guys need me to repeat that again? Can you guys hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Let me say that again. Can I get a hashtag when you date thugs, date death? Let me read that much, much slower. Patterson was on house arrest, awaiting trial in April next year, 2024, on not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, but 9 charges related to sexual crimes against children. Huh? Ladies, this is who we're dating. This is who you are living with. This is who you're married to. That's according to Clark County District Court records, not my words. They include 5 counts, and I'm not saying he's guilty, but what I'm saying is with that many freaking charges, there has to be some level of truth in there somewhere. You had to have been doing something wrong, bruh. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag thug zoo. Hashtag thug lion. Hashtag what is my other one? You make bed, you lay in it. I don't know. They include 5 counts of lewdness with a child under the age of 14 years old, 2 counts of sexual assault with a minor under the age of 16 years old, 1 count of lewdness with a child under the age of 16 years old, and 1 count of first-degree kidnapping of a minor. That would not make him a pedophile, ladies and gentlemen. That would make him a hebophile. 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 After they are past their point of being pubescent. Hebophile, not a pedophile. Pedophile is under the age of pubescence. Prepubescence. This is after that age. That will make him a hebophile. Patterson was arrested in October 2022, according to Las Vegas Justice Court records, and his bail was $100,000 with conditions of surrendering his passport, high electronic monitoring, and staying away from children under the age of 18 years old. However, it was lowered to 2 months later by a judge by the name of Diana Sullivan to $10,000 with the same conditions. Patterson posted bond. Patterson was under house arrest during the shootings. Metro Police confirmed that Patterson was following the rules established for his electronic monitoring, and all of the locations he was monitored at, including the apartment where the murder-suicide occurred, were approved. Some friends of Shinara, the mother, attending a fundraiser on Thursday to cover funeral costs, questioned why she and the children were at the apartment. Her previous landlord said that she was evicted from a Las Vegas home late November because she was unable to pay her rent. But she had a kid.
My friend used to pay $163 for car insurance. Now look how much he pays. Most insurance companies are charging extra. They don't want us to know that there's an easier way to get cheaper insurance. All you have to do is go to the link below and get open under 2.
Am I victim shaming? Am I victim blaming? Or am I just kicking the real?
You're welcome here.
So here's the cold part about it. What I want people to understand. Regardless of if she had children or not, guess what she still have to do? Pay her bills, pay her rent, pay her car note, pay her gas, lights, water bill, whatever it is. You have to pay that whether you have kids or not. So that means if she couldn't pay her rent, that means regardless of whether she had kids or not, she still wasn't able to accommodate her own self. So she was evicted. It's unclear if she moved in with Patterson despite the conditions of his bail, which means that she put her children at risk. And I'm assuming that she knew because he also had to be monitored. So that means that she would know, and everybody else around there should have known that also.
Okay,
all right. Patterson's attorney, Burt Whipple, said to look at his motion to lower Patterson's bail, which was presented in court. It was said that Patterson couldn't post a $100,000 bail. The motion was cited to Valdez Jimenez versus 8th Judicial Court in 2020 decisions for process to set bail. It established that judges should consider if the defendant is a flight risk and won't appear back in court, as well as that person is a danger to the community, which clearly he was a danger. Patterson's attorney argued that his client was not a flight risk because he self-surrendered to authorities back in October 2023. He also said Patterson had several individuals who can come forward to testify on behalf of his character's brother, his wife, his ex-girlfriend, and his son. Look at what you got. Everybody wanted to defend his ass. You know what's funny? He's got more people defending him for things he did do compared to people who were actually innocent, who had to get out by the Innocence Project, who didn't actually do what they were accused of and got no support. It's funny how that works. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Well, that is cold, cold, cold. If you guys would do me a favor and click that thumbs up, leave a comment and let me know what you guys think about this story. If you have some dissenting opinions, feel free to post it in there so we can talk about it. Here we go.
A lot of questions remain after the murders of 2 children and their mother. One boy remains in the hospital. And as the 8 News Now investigators first reported, the killer was on house arrest.
And the head of one local nonprofit says this tragic story deserves more of a community response and accountability. Investigator Vanessa Murphy with the story.
Marvin Patterson was on house arrest, facing charges of sex crimes against children, when Metro Police say he killed his daughter, stepdaughter, and wife, and also shot her son, who remains in the hospital.
If he had been in jail, none of this would have happened. Where he was supposed to be. I don't think they should have let him out at all.
The mother of Shanera Patterson at this vigil Monday night, hours after learning about her daughter and grandchildren. As the 8 News Now investigators first reported, Patterson's bail was initially set by a substitute judge last October at $100,000 with high-level electronic monitoring. She also ordered him to surrender his passport and stay away from children. About 2 months later, Judge Diana Sullivan reduced the bail to $10,000 with the same conditions. Records did not show any restrictions on firearms. Patterson posted bond through a Las Vegas bail company.
And that's a slap in the face to the victims.
Jasmine Lee runs the Doc Ellis Foundation, named after her father, which provides resources for the families of missing and murdered people of color.
When I looked at the charges, I was baffled because it could have been prevented. You know, the lack of, we're in danger. The community didn't realize that we have an individual who's floating around. That bothered me.
No comment from Judge Sullivan. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson says his prosecutors argued against lowering the bail, while Patterson's defense attorney Brett Whipple points to this bail motion, which states Patterson had a good relationship with his wife and the children. The 8 News Now investigators also obtained Patterson's criminal history. In addition to the 9 felony charges he was set to go on trial for in April, there are several other arrests listed, the most recent in 2005, along with a warrant for failing to appear in court.
We need to sit down and we need to have a conversation. We need to talk with Metro. We need to talk with the individuals that are working working in the judicial system. We need to hold this judge accountable and understand why she did what she did, and how do we make sure that that does not happen again.
It is unclear why Shanera Patterson and the children were with Marvin Patterson on Monday. However, court records show she had recently been evicted. Lee says more organizations need to come together to help families in crisis, and more accountability is needed in the judicial system to avoid a tragedy like this. Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Vanessa, thank you. And today, a food truck fundraiser to raise money for the family. The owner of Trap Wings says he knew Patterson and her children and wants to do his part.
First, with breaking news, Fox 5 News starts now.
The adult male, at some point in time during the morning, early morning hours, shot 3 juvenile children, an older female, and himself.
4 people are dead on what Metro Police are calling a murder-suicide. A live picture of the crime scene right now at an apartment complex near the 95 and Durango. Metro Police are investigating another deadly shooting. Police say 3 juveniles were shot. 2 of them died.
And Metro Police provided details a short time ago and say there is no threat to the community. Police say the man shot and killed 2 juveniles, a woman, then himself at an apartment complex. A 3rd juvenile was rushed to UMC. All the juveniles are under the age of 14.
Tonight, we are learning more about the man at the center of a murder-suicide at the Centennial Hills apartment complex on Monday. According to court documents, 42-year-old Marvin Patterson was facing several felony sex crimes. Our Jaewon Jung explains why he wasn't kept in jail.
Police say 42-year-old Marvin Patterson killed himself and 3 others, including 2 children, in a shooting at a Centennial Hills apartment complex on Monday.
Right now we have 1 adult male deceased, an adult female deceased, 2 juveniles deceased, and 1 juvenile at UMC Hospital clinging to life.
Court documents reveal Patterson was facing several felony charges in Clark County, including sexual assault against a child under 16 and lewdness with a child under 14. He was scheduled to go to trial next April. Last October, Patterson's bail was set at $100,000 for the charges he was facing. But just 2 months later in December, a Clark County judge lowered his bail to only $10,000, agreeing with his defense team. Patterson would not.
All right, I got to rewind that. I've got to see what hospital they said, because it sounded like he said UNC, but I don't see why they would send him from Las Vegas to UNC. I just got to check that out real quick.
Juvenile at UMC Hospital clinging to life.
Court documents reveal 22-year-old Marvin Patterson killed himself, 3 others, including 2 children, in a shooting at a Centennial Hills apartment complex on Monday.
Right now we have 1 adult male deceased, an adult female deceased, 2 juveniles deceased, and 1 juvenile at UMC Hospital clinging to life.
Court documents reveal Patterson was facing several felony charges in Clark County, including sexual assault against a child under 16 and lewdness with a child under 14. He was scheduled to go to trial next April. Last October, Patterson's bail was set at $100,000 for the charges he was facing. But just 2 months later in December, a Clark County judge lowered his bail to only $10,000, agreeing with his defense team. Patterson would not skip bail and needed to help support his family. Patterson then posted bond and was placed on house arrest.
I think that the court system failed. I think that the prosecutors could have done more under these circumstances. I think that the guardian or whoever brought those children over to the defendant's home failed these children as well.
Former Clark County District Attorney David Roger believes more should have been done to keep Patterson in custody.
I want y'all to catch how sick he said that. He said, and the person that brought these children over there, like let me rewind that. He basically said what I said.
Under these circumstances, I think that the guardian or whoever brought those children over to the defendant's home failed these children as well.
So yes, Like I said, for those who talk about I'm victim shaming, victim blaming, he said the same thing that I said. And the mother failed her children, bringing them over there, especially with this man having this level of accusations against him, dealing with sex with underage people. So I 100% agree. 100% agree. Yep.
We are learning the names of the 3 people killed in yesterday's deadly mass shooting that happened in the Northwest Valley. The Clark County Coroner's Office says 34-year-old Shanara Patterson, 14-year-old Keziah Cohn, and 6-year-old.
I also find that wild, the fact that the mother has her hair did up like that's one of the coldest hairdos I've seen in a long time, but she couldn't pay her rent though. Now I've actually heard women say this before, like they weave costs more than people's rent. So that looked like weave on her head. I don't know if it is or if it ain't, but it looks expensive. I just thought I'd throw that out there because that was the picture that was taken. That was the picture that was posted. It's a good looking picture, but it looks expensive. Just throwing that out there.
Zamaya Patterson all died after being shot. Police say the shooter, Marvin Ray Patterson, then turned the gun on himself. An 11-year-old boy also shot. A family member telling 8 News Now the boy is clinging to life. And tonight, the families and friends remembering the lives lost. Thank you for joining us at 11. Brian Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez, 8 News. Loving mom and friend and her girls as just the happiest little girls.
I treated them kids like they was my own.
An emotional night after Monday morning's tragedy. 5 people shot, 4 dead. The family clinging to their light in the darkness.
This was not supposed to happen.
Jamesetta Bernuti remembering her 34-year-old daughter, Shanara Patterson.
She was sweet, kind, do anything for you.
Shanara's sister, Michaela Bernuti.
She was there no matter who you was, how long she knew you. If she had it, she go give it to you.
Michaela describes her nieces, 14-year-old Keziah Cohn, 6-year-old Zamira Patterson.
Duty, that's Zamira. She was sweet. Like, she was the most innocent child I ever met. Like, she didn't have a mean bone in her body. Keziah was goofy. She loved to draw.
Their brother, Derek Jr., recovering in the hospital.
He's still fighting. We praying for him. He go pull through. He's strong.
Our 8 News Now investigators uncovering police records showing the gunman was accused of child sex crimes and was on house arrest.
If he had been in jail, none of this would have happened. Where he was supposed to be. I don't think they should have let him out at all.
For now, the family sending up their love and prayers. Lauren Negretti, 8.
People, y'all gotta stop with these balloons, man. It's trashing the place. That's not how you pay homage to anybody. Light some candles. Stop releasing balloons. I keep telling y'all, they're making that illegal in some states, and y'all gonna get fined for it, for releasing all that trash. Those balloons are not going to heaven. Okay? Regardless of what y'all think, they're not going to heaven. They're gonna go and just trash up the place. Just littering. So, my closing thoughts. And I thought about this also. And thank y'all for calling it out in the chat. It makes you wonder, that little girl on the left-hand side of the screen who looks like a younger, untainted version. Let me back that up like a U-Haul truck because that's not his daughter on the left picture, the tall one. Looks like an untainted version of her mother. Young and untouched. And this man has a history, allegedly, of sex crimes against children. Would y'all put it past him that maybe he abused her daughter? And maybe the mother might have overlooked it? Because if he could do it with other people's kids, why would he not do it to her kid? I think that, and I've said this before, that pedophiles and hebophiles, that's not a mentality that can be fixed. It just needs to be punished. I don't think people like that can be rehabilitated. So I think people like that would mess with any child that they can get their hands on, because the likelihood of them being able to get their hands on a child is usually not very high, right? So they are opportunists. So I would think that if this person being an opportunist, based on what I just described, would absolutely have went after her daughter as well. Absolutely pitiful. And I agree with that good old white man when he said that the mother did no favors by moving in with this effing criminal. Straight like that. To the young girls, may they rest in peace. To the mother, RIP to her, I guess. And to the son, pray for him that he can make a full recovery. And we're gonna hope and pray for that he can grow up and be strong and become something great. Okay, let's pray for that. So we don't get no justice here. Let guys think in the comment section. If you disagree with, just make sure it follows logic. Okay, thank you.
So I was wondering that my damn self. Like, did he do something to her daughter? It's about the age that he likes, isn't it? Like, that's crazy, y'all. Very, very crazy. My God, rest in peace, y'all. Rest in peace. I don't understand the mother's logic. I wonder if she knew that he was a criminal. If she knew that he what kind of crimes he had, or was he lying to her and telling her that they were making it up and it was a bunch of bull. You know how they do it. Like, I'm innocent. I didn't do nothing. They're lying on me. And it just makes you wonder, like, is that why he felt like he had to do what he did? I agree with them all, though. But, he should have never been let out of fucking jail. Not once. Especially, and he was on house arrest. So when you're on house arrest, you are supposed to have an address and a landline phone number, not a cell phone, but a landline number when you get on parole. Or, yeah. So it just makes you wonder, like, was she with him before he got out? I don't know. All I know is it pissed me off. What do y'all think? What's your comments in? I know Arctic got some stuff to say. What you got to say, Arctic? I don't know if Arctic's still in here. All right, well, let's watch this one. This one is about a prominent alleged transgender activist charged with raping 2 underage boys. Man, they come in all cycles, don't they? This is crazy. What is going on with people in the days?
About protecting children. I think children should be protected and they should be all of our priority, okay? So the things I'm going to say, I've talked about them before, but in the context of just making sure that we are transparent and careful when it comes to dealing with our babies. So before we get into this story about the individual that you guys see on my screen, which I definitely have voice thoughts about, let me give you a disclaimer about my type of content. You have been forewarned. Matter of fact, I think I need to give you this warning too. I don't know. The following content contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. I don't think I needed to tell you that, but just in case, tell you that too. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. All right, and I've said this before, and I will make this proclamation as we start this video out. Two elements when it comes to same-sex dating. Number one, when it comes to women and women relationships, have the highest rate of domestic violence of all domestic relationships, because it's primarily comprised of them dealing with each other for emotional reasons, not for physical reasons. Fair statement. Everybody's agreed to that. I've done a number of videos, a lot of different things like the male nanny and all kind of other videos. We've agreed to all of that, okay? On the flip side, what the hell is that on her mouth? We'll talk about that picture here in a minute. That threw me off. When it comes to men and men relationships, same-sex relationships with men, they primarily get with each other for physical, sexual purposes. So the male portion of the LGTB generally is more sexually driven for them to deal with each other. That's not primarily driven for emotional purposes. That's primarily driven for sexual purposes. Women on women relationships is more driven on emotional purposes. I think that's a fair thing to say. That's a fair assessment. Been that way for a long time. Let me tell you guys about this idiot that you guys see on my screen. As a matter of fact, I need to blow one of these pictures up so you can see it, because I thought this was flat out ridiculous. I want y'all to take a look at this, because I don't know what the hell that is. Can y'all see that on my screen? Can y'all see that? I don't know what that white is. That white around your mouth. The white around your mouth.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Looking like this woman that just ate a bag of powdered donuts, ma'am, or sir, whatever it is, that whatever pronoun or it. I don't know what you want to be called, but you look flat out ridiculous. But let me say this. So with them saying a transgender, that means that this was a man turning into a woman, allegedly. Okay? So that means the DNA genes drove this person to be a man, biologically. And this person, I guess, tried to alter their biology. So they actually say that here. So I'm getting this story from foxnews.com. Thank you for the article. I just wanted to talk about this because it actually deals with children, believe it or not. A prominent transgender LGBT activist in Philadelphia, an activist, awesome, who campaigned for and endorsed several top Democrats in the Commonwealth. And they said Democrats. Yeah, y'all are taking the L for that. Yep. Good job, Democrats. And the Commonwealth was arrested this week on several charges, including RAPE and assault of two young boys. Another one, the assault and rape of two young boys. Kendall Stevens, 37 years old. Damn, that's a hard 37. So you're 3 years younger than me? And why you look like you're 33 years older than me in the face? My Lord. Earth has not been kind to your face. The elements. Like, what type of toxic goo did you crawl out of to be looking like that? Damn. Allegedly 37. You look like it's a hard knock life for us. Looking like she about, what, 55, 60? I know people at 50 that don't even look that damn bad. But anyway, allegedly 37 years old, was arrested Monday and charged with rape, involuntary assault, unlawful contact with minors, and indecent assault against two victims less than 13 years old. And guess what that would make them? Prepubescent, a pedophile. under 13 pedophile. Under 13 pedophile. Along with charges including corruption of minors and endangering the welfare of children. When you talk about the corruption of minors, I've talked about that before, and basically, in order to have more people who agree with this lifestyle, you have to encourage them at a young age to convert to this type of lifestyle because it's abnormal. That's a fair statement. That's truly what it is. That's not any disrespect to anybody. That's actually what it is. Stevens, an alleged transgender woman who is biologically male, rose to prominence in 2020 after being a victim of a brutal crime believed by many to be a hate crime in which the attacker, Tymisha Waring, ended up pleading guilty to aggravated assault and conspiracy. And let me say this, to that assault, it makes me wonder if this person was messing with somebody's kids, got caught, and got beat up. I don't think that's a hate crime. Might be a crime of, I hate them messing with kids. But anyway, nearly 3 years ago, Kendall Stevens endured a frightening crime that was intended to demean and silence her, District Attorney Larry Krasner said. Let me skip some of this. Let me skip some of this. 37-year-old alleged transgender Kendall Stevens has been arrested for allegedly raping two minors under the age of 13 years old. This is why the death penalty exists, according, who is this? Colin Rugg, co-owner of Trending Politics, posted on X, formerly Twitter. Let me skip this. The investigation into Stevens began in September when a grandmother of one of the alleged young victims told police her grandchild was sexually assaulted by Stevens on more than one occasion, starting when he was 8 years old. So this has been an ongoing thing. The second victim was reportedly given gifts out of nowhere, and the parents believed it was to keep him quiet. Stevens is also said to have warned one of the victims that he would be put in jail if he told anyone about the encounter. Stevens' bail was set at $500,000. It should have been no bail, but nonetheless, let me give you guys a fair usage. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Some of y'all might get triggered, but think about what I said. It is based on science. It's based on biology. It's based on the truth. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and leave a comment, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this story, I'm going to play only a couple of news videos. I'll try to keep it brief. Here we go.
A Philadelphia LGBTQ activist is facing some disturbing charges this morning. She was arrested for sexual assault of minors. 37-year-old Kendall Stevens had a preliminary arraignment last night. Some of the charges include rape, assault against a person less than 13 years old, and endangering the welfare of children. Her next court hearing is scheduled for December 29th.
Now the details here. A Philadelphia transgender activist identified as Kendall Stevens is now charged with sexually assaulting 2 children under the age of 13.
Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us outside police headquarters with the new details we're learning about this, Annie.
Yeah, Gray and Shari, disturbing details. Kendall Stevens was arrested today for the rape of a minor. Sources confirm that she is the same Stevens who is a prominent LGBTQ activist in the city. The state attorney general's office filed charges tonight against 37-year-old Kendall Stevens. The charges include the indecent assault against a person less than 13 years old, rape, unlawful contact with minors, sexual offenses, and endangering the welfare of children, parent or guardian. Stevens came to Action News in August of 2020 after she was attacked in her Point Breeze neighborhood. She says she was targeted by a violent group for being a trans woman. Stevens then a prominent activist of the LGBTQ community. She urged lawmakers to change Pennsylvania's hate crime statute to include protections for LGBTQ people. She is seen here in March of 2021 at a press conference launching District Attorney Larry Krasner's LGBTQ Plus Advisory Board. The board was created in part to be a source of information and resources for victims and survivors of crime within the community.
It means to me that the transgender population will finally get the support that we need from city officials. We really haven't gotten historically.
Sources tell Action News the charges are in relation to the rape of 2 young boys under the age of 13. Stevens remains in custody tonight. A spokesperson for the district attorney's office said in a statement, the investigation of allegations against her is being led by another agency, and as such, we have no comment. Now, judge did set bail at $250,000. The next court appearance is scheduled for December 29th. The state attorney general's office takes on cases from local district attorney's offices if there's a conflict. For now, reporting live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters, Annie McCormick for Action News at 10 on PHL 7.
Okay, damn. We get it. Now, next court date looks like it's going to be 7 days from today. So they're saying December 29th. So next Friday. But again, like since they're representing the Democrats, I mean, if this was on the Republican side, they'd be quick to point that at the Republicans. So I think that the Democrats are going to have to eat this. But to sit there and you keep having these examples of these males messing with kids and messing with sexuality that is scientifically, biologically abnormal, and they continue to keep doing stuff like this. You live your life however you live it, but when you mess with kids, I'm sorry, that's where you got to draw the goddamn line, period. So if you're dealing with adults and adults are trying to figure these things out and stuff like that, then that's one thing. But like I said, man, messing with kids, and look at all those charges right there. Look at the white around that mouth. That is terrible. Woo. Quite nasty. But look at this. That would make this individual a pedophile. And I'm sorry, all pedophiles need to go to hell. You know how they say all dogs need to go, all dogs go to heaven? All pedophiles need to go to hell. And this pedophile needs to go to hell. And I hope that we see swift justice here, and that these kids can get the help that they need. And look, man, stop messing with kids. If these people in general, not all, believe in their cause and what they're doing and trying to educate people about their sexual choices and their lifestyle, then let them do it when they're grown and able to understand sexuality. Stop messing with these elementary school, middle school, hell, even high school kids. Leave them the hell alone. They become adults, then have at it with your information. Leave kids alone. Let kids be kids. How about that? That's going to be my mantra. Let kids be kids. This person deserves life in prison. Period. Leave our kids alone. If you can't get with that, then I don't know what to tell you. And I think that your priorities in life are just completely messed up. That's why we're the AFC. We advocate for children first. Once you're grown, what you do. But leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see you guys on the next live stream. Okay? Thank you.
Mars, good morning, DJ. I cannot make it make sense. I will never understand a transgender person. Literally, I will never understand because I have so many people that I know that are transgender and they are females that like males but want to be a male. So I don't know. That's one topic I don't ever want to touch. One topic I don't ever want to get into because I just cannot understand it. And I do agree that with him because it needs to be out of school. The elementary kids don't need to understand that shit right now. I don't think middle school kids can really understand that shit right now. High schoolers, some of them nowadays are a little bit more mature than what we remember in school. I understand bisexual and I understand being gay. I just never will understand a transgender. All right, sorry, y'all. So, yeah, that's just a subject I will never touch because I just don't understand it. I don't understand what they think and how they think, and I just don't think I need to try. It has been targeted to the kids, and it sucks. Not to put not to put too fine a point on it, but we told you so. Every survivor of intimate assault yelled the roof down. That's what happened. I'm just a little bit confused. This one comes from my state, not too far from where I am living currently. So let's.
I think this story is serious because it traumatizes a child. It was very unnecessary. And I thought that when I saw the video, I was like, y'all got to see this. We got to discuss this. I'm going to give you this story, but it's really, really short. This woman taped a child's mouth shut and was being very physical with them. It was absolutely unnecessary. But let me give you a disclaimer real quick. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Now, I'm getting this story from WRAL.com. I've gotten stories from them before, so if you're listening, thank you so much for the article. Now, let's talk about this. I'm going to keep this really brief, but a Wake County woman is facing an assault charge after a video shows that she put tape. She taped a 4-year-old boy's mouth, taped it shut, at a daycare and jerked him by the arm. It bothered the absolute crap out of me. Officers arrested this freaking idiot, Money, M-O-N-I, Kumari, K-U-M-A-R-I, on Tuesday. And I want to make sure that y'all see this video to make sure that she can't work around no more children. And if she has children, she should lose custody. If you are a father and you got kids by her, file for custody. This is the perfect time to get your kids away from her. On Tuesday, was charged with assault on a child younger than 12 years old. A caregiver who sends her son to Chesterbrook Academy, where he works, says that the incident happened on November the 21st. The mother did not want to be identified. I only asked him, like, were you in timeout and you did something, she said. And he said, no, mommy, I was in timeout and she put tape on my mouth because I was humming. And this is just way above and beyond anything that should ever happen. The mother went to the school to see the classroom video for herself and found Kumari putting tape on her son's face and ripping it off of his face twice. It's unbelievable how a 4-year-old has to live with something like that. And this little minor remember being put in timeout, then having to have someone put tape on him. In another video from that day, the teen grabbing the boy by the arm and jerking him to the side. I'm sure this was not the first time that he's been treated like that by her, which I can almost promise you that's the case. The boy's mother took her concerns to the police, thankfully. She said Chesterbrook Academy acted quickly. She said administrators told her that Kumari would no longer be working there. She should be in prison. I'd say for something like that, give her a year in prison, at least, like actual prison. The mother encourages other parents to take their children's messages seriously. Pay attention when your kid's not feeling good, going somewhere. You need to find out what's going on, because if your kid is not happy at some place, there has to be a reason, which I 100% agree. Kudos, kudos, kudos to the mother. Let me give you guys the fair usage real quick. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It allows for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Now, I know this video is a little bit short, but if you would do me a favor and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment and let us know really what you think about this, because I know a lot of you parents have sent your kids to daycare, and this has to be one of those nightmare scenarios that you hope never happens to your kid.
A Wake County woman is charged for what you see here in this video. As the parent of a child in daycare, I get sick watching this. She's seen taping a 4-year-old child's mouth at daycare.
It's so hard to see. I know a lot of people at home are feeling the same way right now. The little boy in this video, his mother reached out to WRAL to talk about this experience she had at Chesterbrook Academy. WRAL's Monica Casey spoke with her about what she believes other parents should be watching out for.
The Carey mother who sends her son to this preschool tells me she is devastated after seeing a video of a teacher taping her child's mouth and jerking him by the arm. That concerned mother did not want to show her face, but she told me on the phone last Tuesday her son told her that his teacher at Chesterbrook Academy taped his mouth.
But I only asked him, I was like, were you in timeout? And were you doing something? And she was like, no, mommy. I was in timeout, and then she put a tape on my mouth because I was humming.
She went to the school to see the classroom video herself and found this, the teacher putting tape on her son's face, ripping it off twice.
It is unbelievable how a 4-year-old have to live with something like that in his little mind and remember about being put in a timeout and then having someone putting tape on him.
In another video from that day, the teacher is seen grabbing the boy by the arm and jerking him to the side.
I'm sure this was not the first time that he's been treated like that by her.
She took concerns to police, and Moni Kumari was arrested today. Assault on a child under 12. The mother of that boy says the school took action quickly. She tells me administrators told her that teacher would no longer be working there. She encourages other parents to take their children's messages seriously.
You need to put attention when your kid is not feeling good going somewhere. You need to find out what is going on. because when a kid is not happy at some place, there has to be a reason.
In Cary, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Also, they have cameras in those places. It helps parents see what's happening, be proactive if there's something that makes you uncomfortable. Now, we reached out to the Chesterbrook Academy for some information about Kamari's current employment status. School administrators say they are conducting an investigation and working on answering our questions.
Here's my thing, and I wanted to bring this up in closing. I want y'all to not think about this little boy and this grown-ass woman. I want y'all to put this in a different context just for understanding how serious this is and how little I think people actually care about children. And thank you for those who said do a great job, and I truly appreciate y'all saying I work hard. I try my best. I don't always get to every story that I want to, but I really, really try. Imagine if it were somebody like me, a big black man, and you're dealing with this Middle Eastern looking woman, and I'm dealing with her, and she said something I don't like, and I told her to stop. And I want y'all to imagine if an adult me took some tape, some duct tape, and I put it across her mouth and grabbed her and jerked her by the arm and shoved her into a corner as a grown woman. What if I would have did that to her? What do y'all think that would have happened to me? Do y'all think that would have made the news that a YouTuber, a male YouTuber, a big old strong YouTuber, assaulted a woman, traumatized her, put tape on her mouth? She thought she was going to be RAPE'd. She thought that her life was in danger. And I'd under jail probably with $100,000 bond. Think about it for a moment. What would y'all think if y'all heard and read in the news that a man duct taped a woman's mouth because a man her humming and then he shoved her into a corner? What y'all think? Come on, somebody, talk to me. I just heard that just on the surface. What would you think, and what do you think the bond should be? What do you think the punishment should be? Should it be jail time? How much the bond would be? What do you think? Right? Do you think I'd ever be able to find another job if it were me that did that to somebody? Huh? So imagine a child who is probably a fourth. Well, she's kind of chunky. She's got a big belly. Maybe she's about a fifth. That baby is about a fifth of her size. A fraction of this woman's size, can't speak for himself, can't defend himself, and he's a little bitty baby, and you did that to a baby. Now, why is it that the consequences are greater for much bigger people who do this to each other rather than a much bigger person doing this to a little itty bitty baby? Not national news, no national outrage, and she's not at risk of never being able to work and going to prison for doing this to a baby who absolutely didn't deserve it. Now, what if that baby ends up traumatized? What if y'all hear about the story 25 years later and this kid, because he's psychologically damaged, does this to somebody else? Will we feel sorry for him? Will we look back on this moment and say, this is what caused it? And I just don't think in our society, I just don't have that much faith in us for being fair. I really don't. But nonetheless, if we were to be more fair, share these stories and really treat these way that we should, then I think that we would start putting first as a priority and starting all of these incidents very, very seriously as they should be. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about the comparison. Glad the baby's going to be okay, but that woman should never be able to work around kids ever again. And if she got kids, she needs to lose custody of all of them. Let me know what you think. Thank you.
No, that's not cotton drying. I don't know what it is. He's right. I blew it. Big time.
Oh my God. Like I wonder what kind of background they do at these preschools. Because if he's 4 years old in North Carolina, that's where he would be. He would be in preschool. So what kind of background checks do they do for the preschools. Fuck, school's a period. Good morning, Victoria. How are you doing, sweetheart?
My son Steve, no, Detective Sergeant Sloan. Hi. You're on this case? Yeah. You mind if I ask you a couple of questions? I don't know much I can tell you. Do you see any of what happened?
Oh, well, see, I never thought about that. But I don't know, like, this poor little baby boy is going to be traumatized by teachers now. I had a kindergarten teacher that didn't like me because she had my brother 4 years earlier. And she did not like me to save my life. No matter what I did, this lady did not like me. And I remember her one time pulling my arm and dragged me somewhere. And I don't remember where that was, but I remember her pulling my arm and dragging me and then hit me on my hands with a ruler. Now, in the state of New York, that is a no-go. You do not put your hands on the child. I mean, and by now, I think it's in all states, but this was also back in the 80s. So, things have changed from when we were in school to nowadays. A lot of shit has changed. But when my mother found out, that was not a good day for that teacher. It really wasn't. She went up there trying to find the teacher, but the teacher had called out, so there was a substitute. And my mother and the principal went to school together, so they were very good friends. So I would hate to know what would have happened to that teacher if my mother would have got a hold of her back then. It probably wouldn't have been pretty or nice. And my mother probably would have went to jail as well. But I don't understand where these teachers feel like they feel the need to discipline a child like that. You can't handle a child, send them to the principal. If the principal can't handle the child, then call the parent. But the teacher should call the parent regardless, off gate, when they cannot handle that child. Then call the principal. I'm sorry, I had it backwards. And then the principal should call again when they talk to the child. But a 4-year-old can be very rambunctious. They can be very antsy, happy, hateful. It depends on what type of home they are brought up in. Now, like I said earlier, Cary is a Richie Rich town. You very rarely ever hear of any type of child cases coming out of Cary. Usually just burglaries. Because like I said, it's a Richie Rich town. So, there's more, the crime rate there is more with burglaries. You don't hear very too many child cases or murders. But if there is murders, it's people coming into Cary, not living in Cary, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, Cary's a very, I just can't believe, like, I was really mind blown when I saw this story on his channel, because I was like, holy crap, how did I miss it? Like, I watch WRAL religiously. I get newsletters, I get updates, I'm friends with a couple of the reporters who do let me know things like this. Maybe I need to start checking my email a little bit more, because I'm telling you, I was just blown away when I heard this case coming out of Cary. Let's read the comments. BHB2 said doesn't even need to make mainstream by the looks of things. YouTubers would get it first and make 5-hour live streams. Yeah. And the only way this channel right here does does like a 5-hour live stream if he has massive amount of cases. Each case, I would say, doesn't go over 30 minutes, and that's pushing a 30-minute stream, depending on how much information he has on each case. Mars said, I went through that too because my brothers before me were very prejudiced, as was my dad. I'm not, but I got labeled because of them. Wasn't till 12th grade I got accepted. Whew, that's a lot of shit to go through, especially up in New York, Mars. That racist card does not work up there because where we're from in New York, it's a very diverse towns, cities, and in reality, we would be the what are they called? The the minority, because there are so many. God, I don't like saying. I don't know what to call them. Dark-skinned people, and there's so many Spanish people up there that the whites primarily are the minorities up there, and it's always been like that. And that's why up there, even if they have prejudice, it's hard to be prejudiced when you have a diversity of cultures and kinds and things like that. It's a lot easier down south to have that racist mentality than it is up north. And that's my opinion. DJ, you sound like my husband with the dogs. My youngest son in 4th grade got cuffed upside his head by a male teacher. He vowed to quit school as soon as he could because of it, and he did. Oh, okay, I got you. I went to school, and a teacher admitted it, even demonstrated what he did, and I don't know how I maintained my cool and didn't mess him up. I told him to back up before I demonstrated how I F people up that touch my kids. That's funny, Mars. With good reason, 2 great breed. Oh, you're talking about the dog still. Yeah, Monticello. I did a live the other day, Mars. A channel. This has nothing to do with kids, but the channel that I watch. I've been sub to him for a while. It's called Solar Camper Car. He makes every car that he owns, whether it's an SUV or a regular little itty bitty tiny car, and he turns them into campers. Well, the other day I saw one of his videos, and he made it the Christmas Eve, and the name of the title was I am staying in the worst city in New York. So I was like, ooh, that made me interested. I wanted to see where he was. Guess where he was? Just take a guess. Where do you think he was, Mars? Let's see if she can figure this out.
I'm not supposed to be anywhere near this case. I don't have to explain what any of us are doing here.
But Mars, can you figure out what city this dude was in? Can you figure out what city this dude was trying to camp out in his car?
What do you think about it?
Bingo! He was in my hometown. In 2021, my home city was and is currently still the murder capital of New York. It wasn't the Bronx. It wasn't Albany. It wasn't any of the other towns that people know of. It was my city. I left Newburgh, New York when I was 17 years old. And I am glad I left there. Now, I'm not saying I don't miss it. And I do. I really do miss my hometown. But because of the crime rate, the murder rate, the drug rate, I've seen so many of my friends that I went to school with going that just fell in the cracks. And when you fall in them cracks of Newburgh, it is hard to get out. I know you said Newburgh. That's why I said bingo. Well, most kids aren't in school alpaca before the age 5. Here in North Carolina, they have to go to at 4 years old. They have to be in preschool, or they're supposed to be in preschool, and then they graduate from preschool to kindergarten. So by the time they're 5, they're in.
Well, I can answer first.
Oh, I'm good. If you want to come up, I can drop you the link. I was just came live because some people couldn't be here for the 3:00 live, so I just went live so they can because they wanted to come in. So I can drop you the link, sweetheart. I just figured it was something other than just sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
Stan's a very good shot at winning.
Yeah, so, Sanders, Mr. Nice Guy, hires a PI to get these pictures. He shows them to Murray, and Murray drops out of it.
Oh, I already put it out. Damn it.
Peter Murray? Mark Sloan from Community General Hospital. Your secretary's at a fight for you.
I saw you on KCBM last time. Hey, you want to come over to our show? We won't cut you off like that.
No thanks, no more broadcast for me. I was wondering if you had a few minutes to talk.
As long as you're not afraid of heights.
What kind of height are we talking about?
You saw those photos, huh?
Okay, I'll keep going.
Tell me a little more about Sanders. What's the tell? The guy was a creep. Must be a great gig. I had it.
You watch my channel before, you know I tend to speak about my theories on stuff. I never thought this story sounded right, and I think we're starting to come to that conclusion now that there was foul play in this story. But before we give you guys the details of these 3 angels that deserve so much better on this earth, I want y'all to know really what happened to them, but let me give you guys a disclaimer before we dive into this story. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom of creation. Being able to integrate and change and develop at my own pace. I offer a range of products and services. To manage it all from one place is essential. It gave me time back in my day to get going on actual projects. It really just made everything feel more achievable.
My friend used to pay $163 a month for car insurance. Now, he only pays $38. Most insurance companies are charging extra. They don't want us to know there's an easier way to get cheaper insurance. All you gotta do is click the link below and get a free quote in under 2 minutes. You just put in your information and then it compares all the different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate. So this is how his bill went to $38 a month from $163 a month. I'll go ahead and put the link below so you can check it out for yourself.
So Texas, this story is coming from dailymail.com. You guys know I get a lot of articles from them. They usually are pretty comprehensive, so thank you. 3 Texas sisters who were thought to have drowned in their neighbor's pond, they were actually strangled before they were dumped, according to an autopsy. Let me say, thank God for the autopsy. Because I want these babies to get full justice. That means somebody intentionally did this to them. And I think they need their full justice. It was originally believed that Zariel Robinson Oliver, who was 9 years old, Amaya Hughes, 8 years old, and Tamari Robinson Oliver, 5 years old, drowned after a dive team pulled their bodies from a pond on a neighboring property on July the 22nd of 2022 of last year. But Cass County District Attorney Courtney Shelton said in a statement Thursday, the girls died by strangulation and suffered lacerations to their faces. Let me insert my personal beliefs, if y'all don't mind. I think they did more to those girls than just choke them. Choked them out for no reason. I personally believe, and I hope y'all are ready to hear this, they were probably sexually assaulted. Didn't want them to tell. Didn't want them to collude in their stories. Ended their life. Posed it as a drowning. We're almost, 10 months, 10 months, almost a year since then, and we're just now getting this information. This investigation has been going on for the past 8 months. I say 8 to 9 months. 8 months. And Shelton says it will continue with her office as well as Texas Rangers and Sheriff's Office, all asking anyone to come forward with information. Multiple witness statements have been obtained. DNA testing is going on, and the investigation will continue. We're thankful for that. The district attorney did not make any mention of potential suspects or a motive in the killings. I did, but they didn't. I did. Zariel, Amaya, and Tamari went missing from their Atlanta about 200 miles east of Fort Worth home around 10 p.m. on July 22nd, prompting a multi-agency search for the girls, which sounds like trafficking. Huh? 200 miles away? Children, young girls, sex trafficking. That's what it sounded like to me. Or maybe it was something personally that they did, but I'm pretty sure that there was some type of bodily assault that happened also. I'm pretty sure about that. A family friend had been watching the trio and the other siblings while their mother, I am not making this up, Shamanique Oliver, what the I'm going to save one of my curse words. I think I might have already ran them out. Guys, I have got to show y'all on this screen. Why would they even give her name? Y'all got to see this for yourself. I know this ain't the basis of the story. I just think this is just a wild name. You would take this name for any other race. That I can guarantee you. Let me show y'all this. This. You wanted attention. Apparently, This lady's mother wanted attention for this name. Well, damn it, she's about to get it. Can y'all see that? Let me break out my trusty whiteboard real quick. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. Let's go with this color. I think that's a color that you guys ought to be able to see. I like my whiteboard the way it was before. Right here. Showmayonique. Showmayonique? Y'all look at that name, read it yourself, and tell me that you'd be able to pronounce that correctly on the first try. I'm not saying they're bad people for having unique names. I'm just saying, why would we have a name like, I can't even read the name. Nobody be able to read that name prop first freaking time. Showmayonique. Showmayonique. Oh my God. Let me get past that because I know y'all are going to probably destroy me in the comment section just over that observation alone. Showmayonique, 28 years old, was at work. The babysitter called 911 to report their disappearance. So let's move past the name. Let's get past that. Officials received reports that the girls were found in a pond near Highway 77 around 2 a.m. July the 23rd. Police centered their search around the pond after a pair of shoes and other items of clothing were found scattered near and in the water. We located items of clothing around the pond and in the pond, according to a Texas game warden, Sean Hervey. So we centered the search around the small body of water, and with the use of divers, we were able to recover 3 victims at approximately 2 a.m. Video from the scene showed a bicycle abandoned on the property, seemingly close to the pond. It's unclear if the bike belonged to the girls and if they rode it to the property. We have no idea what the girls were doing there. I think they were kidnapped. And you know what else happened after that. They say they have no idea what the girls were doing there. Nobody has been accused of anything. Harvey echoed, "This is not an everyday occurrence, but it does happen." Showmayonique, should have bought a Honda, the mother, told DailyMail.com at the time she was heartbroken over the loss of her daughter and not conducting interviews at this time. "At this time, I'm just trying to bury my babies," she said, noting on social media that the incident was unexpected and a big hurt and shock to the entire family. "Through this whole process, I have my family helping me get through this hard time. With me and the loss of my sweet babies, it's so unreal. But I know I have to be strong for the sake of my other 3 babies because they need me more than ever." Let me read that again. "But I know I have to be strong for the sake of my other 3 babies because they need me more than ever." Lord. Oh, man. They just ain't gonna understand. Y'all remember that song by Will Smith? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, "Parents Just Don't Understand." Well, DJ Just J just don't understand why any human being would have 6 kids under the age of 30 years old. The reason I bring that up, which people aren't going to understand, is let's look at it like this. These girls, let's look at their ages. Let's go back. 9 years old, in school. 8 years old, in school. 5 years old, potentially in school. Probably, what, kindergarten, pre-K? 5 years old? How old were the other children if these children were being babysat? Where were the other children at? You had 3 others. Were they being watched by another entity? Were they too small? Were they older? No, they could. Well, I just thought about something. They couldn't have been older. So if this girl, being 9 years old, Zariel or Zariel, if she's 9, that puts her at almost 10. Back 10 years off of that, that will put the mom. That will put the mom at 18 years old. So I'm assuming she couldn't have had children that were older than 10. So what can we deduce from that information alone? Then that means the mother had a child, 3 other children under the age of 5 years old. 4, 3, 2, 1, maybe a newborn. Where were the other 3 children? Where were the fathers? Are the fathers not active? Let's think about this. Is this not the narrative that I've been talking about all this time? What about the mother with 12 kids by God knows how many men? Y'all remember that story? It's up to almost like what, 12, 13,000 views on that video. So I know a few people saw it. And I talk about this. Didn't we just talk about how dangerous it is to have children? The mortality rate in the United States of America is extremely high. And guess what? Black women have been on the bad side of that. Statistics actually prove that black women die more times than other races of people who give birth. But the reason for that is because they aren't getting prenatal care. The reason for that is because they usually can't afford it. Another reason for that is because they usually have some other mitigating factors like being unhealthy, not having their health taken care of, having high blood pressure, being overweight, obesity, heart disease. It is dangerous to have children in America. So not only is it dangerous to have children in America, that's literally all she's been doing since the age of 18, all the way up until now, is having babies. Year after year after year. Guess how many of them had life insurance? Let's look at the GoFundMe. $25,000 GoFundMe. This is on behalf of Bree Oliver is organizing this on behalf of Nashonda Henderson. Hi, my name is Shomei Onik Ashamanaya Ashadabada Honda Oliver Wickerson on July 29th of 2022. My 3 kids went missing. The mom is the recipient. All donations will go to her and her other children in the form of a check. The rest of the money will help her and her other 3 kids. Look, whatever I got to say about this GoFundMe, people aren't going to understand that. So let me just not even say it. Let me not even say the fact that if she has 3 less kids, that means she should definitely be able to financially take care of the 3 that she has currently, when before she had twice that many. Let me just not even say that. Let me just keep going with the story. Lord have mercy. I'm not going to say what I just said. The grieving mother created a GoFundMe account to help with funeral costs and other related expenses, which we just found out the other related expenses is to help take care of her other current 3 children, based on their own words. This is, we already read that part. We already read that part. Lord, please, and I mean please, I want my kids back. This hurt, and words can't explain the pain I'm going through. I just want my baby girls back in my arms, the grieving mother wrote in another post. She added, rest easy, my sweet baby girls. Say hi to Granny for me. I miss and love y'all. Friends and family alike have offered an outpour of support for the mother during this incredibly difficult time. Let me see. I could skip some of this. So let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. I'm going to show a couple of news videos. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I have other thoughts in my head, but I'm just going to refrain from that right now because I know people just aren't going to understand why my brain would think these things. But if you guys would do me a favor and click that thumbs up. If you have thoughts about this video, share them. But please hit that thumbs up to share this video because we want to spread more awareness and maybe even help get them the GoFundMe support that they probably are going to need. So share that. Let's talk about this.
In the case of 3 children reported missing, then later found dead nearly 8 months later after their bodies were pulled from a Cass County pond, the DA there says the case is now a homicide investigation. 9-year-old Zariel Robinson Oliver, 8-year-old Amaya Hughes, and 5-year-old Tamari Robinson Oliver were found in a pond off Highway 77 just west of Atlanta. An autopsy reveals all 3 girls were strangled to death. They also suffered cuts to their faces. If you have any information on the deaths of these 3 yelling Cass County girls, please call the sheriff's office.
We now know that the case is handed over to the Texas Rangers, but for that, what was the information that led to the call to finding these 3 bodies?
So we were Texas Game Wardens received a call about 10 o'clock on Friday night, a report of children missing, and so we gathered up our assets and went out to the last known location of them. We brought in one of our K-9 units. That search led to a pond, which was about 200 yards away from the residence. And so there, close to that pond, we found a pair of tennis shoes right next to the water. And so we had the family members identify that was one of the little girl's tennis shoes that was missing. So that way we could focus our efforts closer to the water. We actually found some prints in the mud leading into the water. So that kind of narrowed our search down even more. We kind of brought in a team to help search efforts, underwater rescue or recovery. And about 1 or 2 o'clock on Saturday morning, we located all 3 victims. And so they've been all sent off to autopsy, and the investigation's been turned over to the Texas Rangers.
With a very sad update tonight on a story we first reported on last summer. In July of 2022, 3 siblings reported missing were found dead inside a nearby pond. That news shocked the entire community and the Atlanta school district where those children attended class. Now we're learning the Texas Rangers are investigating their deaths as a homicide after autopsy reports returned showing evidence of strangulation. The girls also suffered some lacerations to their faces. Authorities say multiple witness statements have been obtained. DNA testing is ongoing and that investigation will continue. If anybody has any information about their deaths, call Texas Ranger Josh Mason at 255 5727.
Again, I have some thoughts, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wait until more of this investigation is done, wait until some people get charged. But I have some theories, and I'm going to tell y'all they are wild theories, and I don't know. I don't really know if it'd be a good thing for me to share them at this moment, but I'm going to just tell you where there's smoke, there's usually something more going on, and I just don't feel positive about what's really going on here. There are more questions than there are answers, but these babies did nothing to deserve this, and whoever participated in this, I hope that we get justice. I hope we get a real story, and I hope that we can really put these people behind bars where they need to be, whoever participated in this. So to those angels, to those babies, girls back up on the screen, these beautiful little angels, Zariel, Amaya, Tamari, princesses, R.I.P. Y'all keep these and these other children in your prayer. Let's hope that we can get some real answers. So this is really just the start of this saga. Thank you.
Did you know 7 of the largest streaming platforms like Hulu and Disney Plus allegedly violated user video privacy by sharing things like watch history?
Man, I was actually going to say something very disparaging about this picture right here, but I remembered I didn't give you guys a disclaimer yet, so I can't go hard in the paint yet until I give you guys a disclaimer about type of content. So hold on. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of the story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. I'm sorry, but when you look at certain people's faces, they just look like, you know, I ain't nothing. They just look like murderous faces. They just look like, if you have to paint a picture of a criminal, it just seems like they would have a face that looks like this. That's just a criminal looking face. It's a crime to have a face that looks like that, by the way. Nonetheless, smnewsnet.com, smnet.com. Thank you for the article. This is an update, and Wayne Carroll Key Jr., 44 years old, was sentenced to life without parole, consecutive life in prison for the double homicide of a 6-year-old child and her mother. The defendant viciously and senselessly murdered the child's mother, and when he realized the child witnessed this heinous crime, he consciously and maliciously killed the child. I pray the victim's family may gain peace knowing that the defendant will spend the rest of his life in prison, according to State's Attorney Jamie Sterling. Sarah Proctor, chief of the Special Victims Unit, represented the state during the sentencing proceedings on behalf of the citizens of St. Mary's County. So let me give you guys a little bit of the story. All started last week and continued to this week, spanning 8 days. Over 200 pieces of evidence were admitted for the jury's consideration. The jury heard testimony from over 40 witnesses. The state called 4 expert witnesses, including experts in DNA, historical, cell phone mapping, microscopy, and forensic medicine. I'm going to try to skip through some of this. The victims of the double homicide have been identified as 37-year-old Martina Lynn Patterson, you guys see right there in the picture, and her 6-year-old daughter, Lanisha Justice Greenwald, both of Lexington Park. A warrant was issued for Wayne Carroll Key Jr., who was 42 at the time, of Great Mills for the following charges: murder, the first degree, 2 counts, murder, second degree, 2 counts, assault, first degree, 2 counts, assault, second degree, 2 counts. Let's see. Key is also wanted on prior warrants for burglary, assault, harassment, child support, Jesus, and is being sought for questioning in his homicide investigation. Anyone with information about him is asked to contact St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office 301-475-8008, and updates will be provided as they become available. But let me give you guys the fair usage so you can hear the news videos. I'm going to try to keep these pretty brief. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce.
I'm not on my parents' health insurance anymore, and I work for myself doing a bit of everything. So I found a plan for just $34 a month.
Plans, doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll by January 16th.
Distribute or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, reporting, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Way to help us, do us a favor, and please hit that thumbs up. We're doing really good right now. We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching, so please hit that thumbs up. I'll only show a couple of these.
I think everybody's question is why.
It's the biggest question for a family grieving the loss of not only a mother but her young daughter. Piling up in front of their home in Lexington Park are signs of happier moments.
Baby. I mean, she was 6 years old. She never hurt anybody.
The day before Thanksgiving, 6-year-old Linesha Greenwald and her mother, Martina Patterson, were found killed and buried in shallow grave near their home. Patterson's sister-in-law and best friend, Linnell Wald, reported them missing when they didn't show up for their Christmas pictures. Investigators have since charged Patterson's ex-boyfriend, Wayne Key, with murder.
She saw it coming. She said that he would make threats.
Family says the two were on and off for 5 years and had a 1-year-old girl together. But the relationship had a dark history of alleged domestic abuse. Patterson previously reported Key for assault, burglary, and harassment and issues relating to child support.
She would tell me that she wanted me to take care of her kids. She wanted me to take custody of her 6-year-old and her 1-year-old if anything happens to her.
According to court documents, the suspect claimed he had not seen Patterson ever since she dropped off their baby 2 weeks ago. But a different neighbor told police she was hanging out with them the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, a different neighbor said she watched him moving a trash bin into the woods, the very same area where their bodies were found. Court documents say numerous items of household trash were found within the rubbish used to cover their bodies. Patterson's own brother, one who found the remains that day.
He doesn't really show emotions, but now it's just like I've seen him so emotional, and he's not doing very well.
While the cause of death has not been officially released, the family is trying to raise enough money to give them a proper burial. Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
The family of Martina Patterson and Linesha Greenwald said they had not heard from the pair since Sunday. Well, on Wednesday, they got the news no family wants to hear. Friends and family gathered here on Rogers Drive in Lexington Park Thanksgiving evening to remember Martina Patterson and her 6-year-old daughter, Linesha Greenwald. This was where the pair lived. It's also where the local sheriff's office opened its investigation into their untimely deaths.
They're the sweetest people in the world. Martina would do anything for anybody. My little granddaughter, she was the sweetest little thing in the world.
Margaret Proctor was Patterson's mother and Greenwald's grandmother. She said Patterson leaves behind 4 children, including a 1-year-old baby.
I just feel like my mom didn't deserve to die like that.
That I just want my mom back and I miss them.
St. Mary's deputies had connected 42-year-old Wayne Carroll Key Jr. to this crime. They issued warrants for his arrest on first-degree murder charges Thursday. Patterson's sister-in-law said he was the father to one of Patterson's children. She also said he was abusive.
There's a history. Him threatening her, him saying he was going to do something.
So you can imagine how this family felt Thursday when it learned Key had been taken into custody in nearby Charles County.
He's gone. They just caught him.
Martina and Lala can rest now.
Yes.
They can rest. Y'all do not have to worry about nothing now.
Now, the family has also set up a GoFundMe page to help with burial expenses. You can learn more information about that effort on our website, WUSA9.com. John Henry, WUSA 9.
Now we have more breaking news, this time out of St. Mary's County. Sky 9 over that scene tonight as well, over a home in Lexington Park, already decorated for Christmas. But this home is now part of a crime scene. The sheriff's office says 2 people are dead, an adult and a child. Investigators have identified a person of interest. You can see him right there. They're looking for 42-year-old Wayne Key Jr. of Great Mills.
So clearly, this man deserves life in prison for harming those people, stalking them down. They did absolutely nothing to deserve this. And it's just really, really sucks that we have people like that in our society. So I wish those 2 souls, if I can get just their prayers up right here, RIP to both of them. Just did not deserve this. They did not deserve this. And I pray that their souls find peace. And, we pray for our thoughts and prayers go to their families also. Thank you guys so much for listening to the story. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you know more about this, please let us know. Thank you. Shout out to AL.com. Thank you so much for this article. The story is heartbreaking here. The person that you guys saw on my screen, y'all can see the bond amounts. Show your face, and sometimes blondes aren't fun. But let you guys a disclaimer real quick. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And again, thank you AL.com for the article. That's such a beautiful little girl. A Tarrant woman has been charged in connection with the death of her toddler this past summer. Terror police said Tuesday announced formal charges against 23-year-old Farrah Blair Bates. Sounds like Norman Bates. Thank you for whoever said that, Norman Bates. Wonder if she's related. In a July 18th drug overdose death of 2-year-old Araya Crawford. Look at that little angel, man. I don't understand why y'all wouldn't want to do the best that you possibly can by these angels from the heavens so that they can grow up and become something great. The death investigation and the lack of until this week has been a point of contention between Mayor Wayman Newton and Police Chief Wendell Major in their ongoing feud. So they're making this a political battle, which is ridiculous. The mayor believed charges should have been brought in Araya's death, and Major said that the investigation was ongoing, awaiting toxicology reports. I don't think it should have took that long, but what do I know? About 4 p.m. on July 18th, terror police were dispatched to the 2200 block of Olsen Highway in Tarrant regarding an unresponsive 2-year-old girl. When they arrived, police said Araya did not have a pulse. According to the parents, including Farrah Bates, the juvenile was sleeping along with her mother in bed, a Tarrant press release stated. Newton previously said that the toddler was home with her mother while the father was at work. When the father returned home at 3:30 p.m., he found Araya Crawford lifeless. Lips were blue while the mother was asleep. Araya was taken to Children's of Alabama, where she was pronounced dead. An autopsy showed Araya had fentanyl in her system. Fentanyl again. If you ask me, and this is a shot at the father, if she was doing drugs, if the mother was doing drugs and it was fentanyl related, I would think that you would know that she was involved in some level of drugs. Why would there be fentanyl there? Maybe you both were involved. Think you both should be investigated. Maybe you both should be doing time in prison. So yes, that's an absolute shot at the father. Fentanyl was involved. If he didn't know, he didn't know. But I just find that hard to believe that he didn't know. Newton suspended Major and filed a lawsuit against him last week. The Tarrant City Council on Monday reinstated the chief, and Jefferson County Circuit Court Judge Patrick Ballard today dismissed Newton's lawsuit. While Major was on suspicion, the interim police chief ordered the investigation to resume. Bates is charged with reckless manslaughter, a Class B felony, a chemical endangerment of exposing a child to controlled substance, a Class A felony. Bates surrendered at the Jefferson County Jail at 4:57 p.m. Tuesday. She is being held on a $60,000 bond. Anyone with additional information is asked to call Corporal Williamson at 205-948-3218 or Detective Crosby at 205-849-2811. That's sad that they tried to turn this into like a political battle when all they had to do was put the children first, make the children a priority. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up and share this video so more people can hear about the story, that would be awesome. Thank you. Here we go.
A Tarrant mother is out of jail, arrested after being charged with causing her daughter's death. Bates is facing manslaughter charges after her daughter, Araya Crawford, passed away back in July.
Now, her death raised suspicions of possible foul play from Tarrant Mayor Wayman Newton, so much that he mentioned it in his lawsuit against the police chief. This Tarrant mother, Farrah Bates, is facing reckless manslaughter charges 4 months after Tarrant police found her 2-year-old daughter unresponsive in a home on Old Pinson Highway. Tarrant police say on July 18th, officers couldn't find little Araya Crawford's pulse. She was taken to Children's Hospital where she was pronounced dead. Tarrant police say the coroner's autopsy found she had fentanyl in her system. A civil suit filed last week by Tarrant's mayor, Wayman Newton, against police chief Wendell Major, claims claims the chief removed all public safety dispatchers' access to the National Crime Information Center database, the federal system that allows law enforcement access to a person's criminal records.
Because the chief actually removed the dispatchers' access to NCIC, we had no way of knowing or no way of confirming that information should that a person that's on that list came to our city.
The mayor made a bad decision, a boneheaded decision, to move the dispatchers from the police department, and he's trying to use this court to cover up that for political purposes.
Newton claims Chief Major has a history of making questionable decisions, quote, which potentially affects the safety of Tarrant residents, businesses, and employees, and exposes the city to legal liability. Mayor referencing the 2-year-old's death as an example in the lawsuit. It says Mayor Newton asked the chief if foul play was suspected. The chief responded, no trauma observed, awaiting autopsy, but also admitted officers found cocaine, fentanyl, and other drugs in the home. After the coroner's report came back, the complaint says the mayor asked the chief why is he not charging anyone with homicide and/or child endangerment. The chief says he was not at liberty to discuss the case because it was an active investigation. On November 14th, the interim police chief recommenced the case with the Jefferson County DA's office, ultimately today charging Bates with chemical endangerment of exposing a child to controlled substances. Just moments ago, we learned Bates had bonded out of the Jefferson County Jail. Now, I did reach out to the mayor to talk about this part of the complaint, and he told me he could not do an interview tonight, but could possibly speak with us tomorrow. And I also reached out to the police chief before, and he tells me before being put on administrative leave, they were still investigating the case and waiting on the toxicology reports for the substances collected from the house. He says he does not know what information prompted officers to obtain a warrant today.
WVTM 13 News begins with breaking news.
Let's get right to that breaking news. Manslaughter and chemical endangerment charges filed against the mother of a 2-year-old. Araya Crawford was found unresponsive back in July and taken to the hospital where she died. Investigators say the autopsy found fentanyl in Crawford's system. Farrah Bates has been arrested in her death. She remains in jail tonight on a $90,000 bond.
Norman Bates, Farrah Bates, at the end of the day, people's substance abuse issues and problems end up costing children their lives. And for that, I don't think it's excusable. I think a life sentence is the only solution for situations like this. To that beautiful little girl, young princess, RIP. Like, if your parents, including the father, halfway cared, this would have never have happened. And it's just really sad, and all it can do is be punished. So young princess, RIP. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section, please. Okay? Thank you.
All right, y'all. There we go. There were at least five different stories we did today, and hopefully if people catch it on the replay, they'll actually watch it and leave some comments. I'm in awe, the state of awe on what people do nowadays with our children. Like, I understand discipline, but when you go as far as to actually hurting or unaliving your kid, we have issues, and you need to be dealt with accordingly. All right, so I'm gonna bring DJ up, and he's got something he wants to talk and share with us. Good afternoon, my dear.
Hi, Dippy. No, this is something that I need to talk to you, just you about, but I don't know how to get a hold of you to talk to you. That's why I was waiting.
Okay, so listen, when I end this stream, do not leave. We can still talk without anybody hearing us.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt it and derail your whole life, because you had a really good life going, and it's like, I didn't want to sidetrack it with goofy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I'm just going to mute, shut up, and you carry on.
All right. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end this because I do have the 3 o'clock stream, and I hope y'all all come back to watch it. It should be pretty funny. It's not going to be depressing. We're not going to do no children's cases. We're going to go over a couple of content creators and have some laughs with them. All right. With that being said, I love your faces. Be kind to one another. Make somebody smile because you never know what your smile could do to one person.